Пишем эссе или письменную работу по теме «Мое понимание тематики до статьи и после». 5 reasons why the V-shaped recovery is a fantasy. What have changed after I read this article? I wasn't much of a believer in V-shaped recovery before. This article discouraged me in that matter even more. I couldn't see the whole picture myself because I wasn't looking that deep and in a wide spectrum. The author opened my eyes, so to speak. He also poisoned my optimistic sprouts about an easy way out of this pandemic. So it's been well summarized for me. All I have to do now is to review the facts and rethink my further actions in my own plan B. 5 facts to reconsider current reality. Fact number 1. Hardcore PTSD. You're living in a world where hugging with another man is considered now as an act of biological terrorism. You will agree with me. It would be silly to think that everyone will come out of hiding and go back to normal ASAP. Forced lockdown at home might mess with your head in one way or another. Your scared mind will resist the thought that gloomy days are over. There's going to be some serious world post-traumatic stress disorder. Billions of people will permanently change their behavior, reduce consumption, and act cautiously in every way. Fake news, hysteria, false doomsday propaganda are going to have a lingering economic impact on every country. Fact number 2. Rest in peace small business. Almost every small business temporarily closed last month. Many of them will never reopen to make customers happy. The rest of them have to make deep cuts and lay off a significant number of employees. But even when economic conditions finally start to normalize, many small businesses will adapt a brand new cost-cutting approach. They'll do the math and determine that their operations can be more profitable and efficient without all the extra workforce. So, some of those temporary job cuts will become permanent. One employee will substitute the work of 4 others, probably with even less pay. Fact number 3. Big business downsizing. Ditto for big businesses. They are very concerned to stay afloat. A typical medium-sized or large company can lay off at least 10% of its workforce with minimal impact to operations. Nearly everyone has some fat to trim. Considering slowing demand, companies do not need so many workers on the payroll. More layoffs are coming. Moreover, big companies now have an opportunity to shrink their overhead further by reducing their office footprints by 10 to 35%. They don't need so much rented office space anymore. Plus, more and more office employees are getting switched on working from home model, and frankly, lots of office white-collar workers love that. This trend will likely reduce demand for office space. It will be causing a steady increase in commercial property vacancy rates worldwide. Many companies will reopen with less office space after they review their crisis restructuring plans. Fact number 4. Retail was dying before this started. Let's be honest, retail stores were already dying before this pandemic. The entire industry is being swallowed up by Amazon. A number of major retail chains like Sears, Macy's, Pier 1 Imports, etc. filed for bankruptcy well before the pandemic started. Plenty of others were on the ropes. And now, with so many places on lockdown, many of them simply will not survive. Between the continued rise of e-commerce, the lockdown consequences, and the lingering PTSD that could keep millions of people from visiting stores, physical retail is in a pretty serious trouble. Retail makes up roughly 10% of the workforce in the US alone, according to estimates from the Aspen Institute. So it's not hard to imagine a few million job losses just from this one sector. Not to mention the impact to the real estate market. Fact number 5. Additional outbreaks. While the social distancing and lockdown measures have reduced the rate of contagion, it's important to remember that some places like Hong Kong and Singapore already experienced a second wave of outbreaks after they loosened their restrictions. Yet, the V-shaped recovery fantasy completely ignores this very real possibility and the huge economic consequences it would have. In fact, any of the 5 points I have mentioned above could have a nasty impact to the unemployment rate, financial markets, GDP, real estate prices, corporate earnings, government deficits, etc. But they're all being ignored. The prevailing narrative right now is that we're out of the woods and the economy is about to come roaring back, and that would certainly be nice. Staying positive is great. It's important to be realistic, to confront the most brutal facts of our reality. And our reality is that the consequences of this pandemic could last much longer. So I keep my eyes and ears open. I assess all incoming information and filter fake news.